The month of May begins on a powerful note with a Scorpio full moon at 11 degrees of Scorpio in your chart, big and bright in the sky, illuminating an important truth that may also be showing you a fear or development that you're ready to face. Now, this full moon means that the sun is in Taurus on the other side of the chart, and both the sun and the moon are actually still in what's called a separating square from Pluto in Aquarius at 5 degrees. Now, Pluto is influential right now for a few reasons. One is that it is the co-ruler of the Scorpio full moon, but also it's preparing to station retrograde after the full moon on May 6th. So Pluto has a stronger reverberating effect at this time, really asking us to dig in and face a truth about something that we're attached to. Now, there's some interesting correlations here with this particular Scorpio full moon. Now, not only do we have these three players on the scene, that moon in Scorpio, sun in Taurus, and Pluto in Aquarius, all three in fixed signs, but this is also known as Wesak, which is the annual celebration of Buddha. Buddha's birth, death, and enlightenment. And this is an important global celebration. And it also brings up some of the main teachings of Buddhism, one of which is how Buddha taught that the root of all suffering is attachment. And here we have these three planets in fixed signs, which attach, which seek stability, want something to be reliable and clear. And here we have a full moon bringing up, what are you attached to that is holding you back from your own transformation? And how are fears, whether those are loud or soft fears, part of the attachment? The fear of letting go of something. This could be something that you are emotionally clinging to. This could be a pattern. This could be a sense of safety or security. This could be any number of things. But it is up to you to listen to yourself, to listen to what is emotionally moving through you at this time that is actually a signal from your soul that it's time to transmute this and evolve it into a higher expression. In other words, this is the Scorpio full moon every year that's connected with Wesak, that is highlighting where we are suffering, where we are attached to something, that we're learning it's okay, it's safe to let this go. And so this requires brutal self-honesty, as well as new levels of self-awareness around where your energy is going outside of you, which is Scorpio. Scorpio is the energy of merging, of how we emotionally connect and emotionally attach to others. Of course, this can be very healthy. Scorpio is about intimacy. It's about emotional depth. Scorpio can be trusting. It can also be seeking that confidant or that person who you can share your true, honest self with. This is what the Scorpio energy ultimately seeks, is those healthier outlets of being seen for who you are. During this full moon, there is an invitation here from the universe to see yourself for who you are, to fully love and accept who you are, and then to also be honest around what you're ready to evolve and move away from, because it's holding you back. It's holding you back from that next level, that next sense of trust, that next chapter that is underway. We had strong Aries energy all throughout April. So May could begin with a fear around this new start, around this beginning point. It's coming up loud and clear, and that fear is revealing perhaps something you've invested in, you desire, you love it, you're really attached to it, and now you're realizing that maybe I don't need this. Maybe it's holding me back. And this, of course, can be internal. This could be one of your own patterns. This could be a pattern in your life that has felt safe, that has maybe even prevented you from facing a fear. There's so many ways this can go. But essentially, this is a Scorpio full moon guiding you into more of a soul level truth that's probably really uncomfortable because of the fact that the sun and moon are still squaring Pluto. And so the sun has been squaring Pluto for 5 days before the full moon is exact. So around April 25th, April 26th, the sun is squaring Pluto. That energy continues to the full moon on May 1st. And you have a new emotional insight into what it's about. And this is where you could go into some of that deep diving, inquisitive scorpionic energy that wants to get to the heart of something. Because when that Scorpio energy is empowered and strong, there is nothing stopping it from finding what it wants to find. Scorpio is the detective, the researcher. It also allows you to investigate more of your own soul's history, whether that is through the Akashic records or past life regression or anything that allows you to access other lifetimes and timelines that you have an energetic connection to. Scorpio wants you to go deep and get to what it's about, where it stemmed from potentially, or where you had that first experience. And honestly, it's typically something horrible. It can be traumatic, abusive, really, really emotionally intense. And that can all be a part of the Scorpio full moon, is that something comes up from the depths of your soul memory, your soul history, or something arises so that you can bring it into the light, so that you can transmute it powerfully and see that you are able to do so. You are the source of that power to face something that can be very scary and difficult. Scorpio is also the energy of counseling, psychology, psychiatry, deep healing. And so it can also be a realization that you need another to support you through something. The end of April here into May could bring up something that you're ready to claim more powerfully. And if you need assistance through therapy or healing work or energy transmutation of any kind, this is beautifully right on time with the impact of this particular Scorpio full moon. And you will know what it is because it will be uncomfortable. And that's part of the purge. That's the pressure point here. And that's part of how Pluto works, because Pluto squaring the sun, squaring the moon, is bringing in to our awareness what isn't meant to go into our future. Pluto in Aquarius is bringing up new potentials for our life vision, our life expectations, requiring us to look at ourselves and understand, do I hold the correct frequency for the future I desire, for what I want to manifest? And if I don't, what do I need to powerfully transform in order to be at that energy state? So this is an intense beginning here to May. And even the end of April is when the energies are alive. But as we get to that Scorpio full moon, there's something you might see in a whole new light. And you might be feeling that energy coming in quite strongly. And it's interesting because Scorpio is about what we can't see, but we feel. So think of the depths of a cave or just being in the dark where you can't rely upon your eyesight, so you tune into your other senses. And you have to trust yourself more to navigate through the unknown and to maneuver through what is uncertain. And so this is also where we become more psychic. And there could be something coming up here that you realized you always knew. It's so satisfying to the ego, right? To be like, I knew that. But this is something deeper. This is that it's an emotional validation of something you were psychically picking up on and psychically knew. And you might have a beautiful confirmation of that during the Scorpio full moon here. So know that there is intensity as we close out April and move into May because of what is coming up within a span of 5 or 6 days here that is bringing our attention to our attachments, our patterns, what we have refused to change or evolve, what we haven't wanted to look at. That can be uncomfortable, but that's also the beautiful pathway of transformation. And I feel like there's some type of emotional release and something that flows after this full moon, because the moon will then move forward, of course, in Scorpio and make a trine to Jupiter in Cancer. And that's going to bring up a really good feeling, like of a good, fortunate development, or a sense of, it's like heightened well-being. Like I did it. I did the hard thing. I faced the hard truth and I feel cleansed and I feel stronger and I feel clearer. And so keep in mind that after the sun is squaring Pluto, the sun moves forward 1 degree a day and is going to sextile Jupiter in Cancer as well. And there's going to be a sense of new internal security and fortifying. It's like the stronger sense of self. So the work, effort, and discomfort of this full moon, the pressure of it, is ultimately moving you forward. And then there will be positive blessings and developments that come about once both the sun and the moon interact with this Jupiter in Cancer. So you could find that you've cleared out something from the past. You could realize that you have closed out something that you still needed to face. On a more practical note, this can certainly bring up financial energies. And as I'm recording this, the state of the economy is in flux and we see inflation and there's prices rising. And all of that could be hitting more and more people as May begins. And so there could be more awareness around your money, spending, income, needs. Scorpio is what goes out and Taurus is what comes in. And so there might be a realization here of what's out of balance in your spending habits. For example, getting that credit card bill, or maybe looking at some of your everyday costs and expenses for living. This is when people could be making some changes in their spending habits. It's a push comes to shove energy. It's a sense of, I've got to cut back here. I've got to get rid of this. I have to do this differently. simply because of the practicality of what's going on and where things are at for you. So this might be a time when you're making even some difficult financial decisions. Because again, that sun in Taurus is still in that separating square from Pluto. Pluto in Aquarius. In fact, this could bring up hidden costs. Scorpio being what you don't see at first. Unexpected increase in interest rates, or an unexpected increase somewhere. Rising costs, right? This could be a realization of, this is where I have to cut back and trim some things out. I'm going to have another video for you here soon discussing Pluto stationing retrograde, which starts officially on May 6th, but that energy is in effect now. And that journey of Pluto stationing retrograde is a big one. Well, I'll be talking about that in another video, but just a heads up, it is going to be reevaluating what we value and what we want to own. And there's going to be some important choice points to make around what you truly need, what's really essential. And it's interesting when I start talking about this, because I don't mean it to come from a lack consciousness or a poverty consciousness or anything that instills fear. It's a shift in the financial frequencies on the planet that we're all feeling at a practical level, but I'm going to look at it in an energetic way so that we can reset our manifestation abilities and our wealth consciousness, because there's always wealth on the planet. There's an abundance of everything. We see it everywhere in nature. And so we're in a restructuring phase of what that looks like and what that means, especially realistically. So I'll discuss that more in the Pluto retrograde video, which is coming out next after this video. But just so you know, this start of May, end of April, start of May is going to be bringing up some of these themes even more prominently. And so if you're feeling that, I hope this helps let you know that it's in the energetics, it's in the astrology, and ultimately it's going to serve a purpose in helping us redefine what it means to live abundantly here on the planet. So I'll discuss more of that in another video. Anyways, back to the Scorpio full moon, Molly on a tangent. Just know that this is meant to bring up something important for you to face, for you to look at. And even if it's emotional at first, the Scorpio energy is so beautiful in its ongoing determination and dedication to move through something and to become better because of it, to become stronger, wholer, more full, and to be more self-aware. So, wishing you an empowering Scorpio full moon. I hope it brings you some soulful intentions and messages. I also hope it beautifully impacts and empowers your psychic abilities. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, if you want to share anything about the Scorpio energies below, that would be fantastic. It helps other people in this community, which I'm so grateful for this community. It's such amazing people here, and you have so much wisdom to offer others. I know many of you are healers and you're energy experts, and you're very on top of all of these very important areas of ascension. So I welcome your wisdom below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you back here soon.